What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing out there? Arthur Rashad here, Road to Exoneration. Let me first just thank everyone for pre-ordering the book, Fatherless Son. Road to Exoneration here. We're just a bunch of people coming together, trying to solve a case, man. We all love the true crime stories. My father has one, so I figured I'd bring all the information to you guys. Maybe you guys can help me at some point. Again, if you want to pre-order the book, you can go to Arthur Rashad, AuthorRashod.com. Pre-order the book if you like. And let's get to it. So this week, part 5, we're looking at the witnesses. All right, if you haven't watched part 1 through 4, I would urge you to go back and watch it. Part 5, witnesses. So in looking through this huge case file, one thing I noticed is that there were no civilian witnesses. There was one civilian witness that was called to the stand during the case. Witnesses 1 through 7 were all police officers, supervisors, camera operators, things of that sort. But there was no civilian witnesses at the crime that witnessed the crime happen at that particular time. So I thought, hey, maybe there was no one there, but I was wrong, right? I was wrong. When I looked at the case files, I saw one thing that stuck out to me is I saw that my father's attorney asked the prosecutor, well, why didn't you call the other witnesses? And his quote was, it's not my job to call witnesses, right? So then I asked myself, well, who were the witnesses? So I went back to the paperwork, started reading back through the paperwork, and I found that there were 7 witnesses in total. There were 4 at the ATM, and there were 3 at the Domino's, where the victim jumped out of the vehicle. Who all said they saw the suspect. So let's look at them. And this will tell us why they didn't make it to court. So, first, witness 9, right? Positive identification, right? I have a couple, suspicions on why he identified my father, but it is what it is. Witness number 9 was a positive ID. He said that was Daniel Coleman that got out of the vehicle. Okay. Witness number 10, negative ID, right? Ironically, within the police report, the detective said that witness number 10 didn't have their contact lenses in. Witness number 11, again, negative ID, said it wasn't my father. Ironically, he said that witness number 11 stated that the person was a little far away and she didn't really get a good look at the suspect. So that's everybody from the Domino's. Then we move on to the ATM. The interesting thing about the ATM is that they had to go back and get subpoena records for who was at the ATM after the victim had tried to use the ATM, which is how they found out that 4 females were there at around 4:15, 4:20 in the morning. And those females coming to the police station, they all stated that they witnessed the suspect and the victim come out of an alleyway and get into the same side of a vehicle. So let's look at what they said, right? Witness, where are we on? Witness 12, negative ID. Again, the detective said she didn't have her glasses on, of course. Witness number 13 said she didn't get a good look at him, but she couldn't identify Daniel Coleman as being the suspect. Witness 14, again, negative ID. Not only negative ID, but that witness also said it was a white male with brown hair. Even though that person gave the best description so far of the suspect, the detective wrote, and I quote, that witness didn't have their contacts in, of course, right? And then the last one, witness number 15, also negative ID. So I know what your question is after this 5th chapter, right? This fifth episode of the series. Well, if Daniel Coleman did not commit the crime, then who committed the crime, right? Who committed the crime? Well, in looking at the police reports and looking at the case files, there was a time inside of the trial where Daniel Coleman's lawyer asked one of the detectives, are there a rash of sexual assaults going on? And his answer was, business is good. Business is good. So in his mind, there's not a problem because business is good, and I don't have a problem with what's going on because it's a lot of crime, which is sad knowing that I'm sitting at home at that time, a little 4-year-old just fighting for my life and to have a normal life. But yet a detective looks at it and says, business is good, as my father is getting ready to go in for a life sentence. So we're going to look at now, what we're going to look at next week which is witness 6 testimony. So at the witness 6 says, and I quote, "At approximately the same time that Coleman was released, I observed a black male with a white coat over his shoulders walking through the parking lot of Newark Police Department. By the time I caught up to the individual, he was gone, but I found the coat that he was wearing on the ground. When I picked the coat up, the coat had blood all over it." So remember, the victim at the ATM never got raped. There was never any blood exchange. The only blood exchanged was the blood from the 78-year-old woman at the main towers that we talked about in part 4 and part 3. But the witness from the ATM identified that coat as the coat that the male had on when she was kidnapped. So next week, it's going to be important. Make sure you turn in. Again, Arthur Rashad here. Love yourself, love others. If you want to pre-order the book, go to arthurrashad.com. And, hey, man, have a good night. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.